Here we are, man. Welcome to the Lights Out podcast. We are going to have an interesting conversation about boxing in 2026, the sport of boxing in 2026, essentially. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be a fantastic conversation. I'm joined by my boy Ant. What's
What's
up,
up, man?
buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. We're going to have a good conversation here. Just a excellent weekend for combat sports this past weekend. Not only for the MMA fans, did we have UFC 325, which we will close this show regarding. That will be the main event of today's show. We'll get to it at the end. Uh, but we also just had a very eventful weekend of boxing. We had the Ring 6 and we had Zuffa Boxing 2. Let's go ahead and start talking about this shit, man. I want to start with Zuffa Boxing here, right? We
Yeah.
covered the first ever episode, show, event card of Zuffa Boxing in our last episode, and we said we had a good time with it. It looks pretty fun.
hmm
Yeah, man. Zuffa Boxing 2 totally blew this out of the freaking water. Okay. Zuffa 2's card just had fantastic boxing through and through, honestly.
Oh
This
yeah.
oh my goodness, man. This first fight here, we had Kalijic versus the number 9 ranked light heavyweight, according to the Ring magazine, Alexander. How do you pronounce this shit? Goy- Wojciech.
uh,
Wojciech.
yeah.
Yeah, Wojciech.
What is it?
This first fight was the first ever knockout in Zuffa boxing history. Okay, the number 9 ranked fighter, according to the Ring magazine, comes in here and he's the first person in Zuffa boxing to get knocked out. First person to hold a rank in Zuffa boxing, and he gets his ass knocked out for the first knockout in the history of Zuffa boxing. Very good showing in the light heavyweight division here. That's always a fun one, right? We had a very interesting star in the making as Serhiy Bohachuk defeated Radza Butayev in the middleweight division by decision, right? This is a very close fight, very close to the end, and Bohachuk seems to come out victorious by decision. Did you see either of these two fights, and what were your thoughts?
I did see the knockout. From Rahim. I can't pronounce his name without butchering it. So, but the light heavyweight fight, man, that was a damn good fight. From what I saw, like that knockout was vicious, man. Like, and the thing that I liked about it was, Khalid. How do you say his name? I can't fucking say it.
Kaladzic?
Kalachik. There you go.
Yeah.
Kalachik. I liked his resilience, man. He didn't panic like after being dropped early, and I like that he stuck to his game plan. And when that right hand landed, it landed absolutely perfectly, and it was good timing and good and composure under the pressure, man. And that's what he needed, man. Like, and and with all credit to Gorvers Dyke, he looked like the superior fighter early on, but his defense, like, he couldn't adjust at all. Like, once Kalishek began to find his rhythm, like, it felt like he just kind of like he couldn't adjust and he couldn't adapt. So that's what I feel like. That's what really messed him up, I think.
It was a comeback victory like no other. It
Oh
was
yeah,
something I haven't seen in a long time. It was a lot of fun. That's the least I could say about it, to be honest.
it was
I
fun.
enjoyed the first fight. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we talk about Borachuk, like, he earned it, man. I think he earned this fight. It was a very gritty, pure action fight. I think it was very because you got to remember, man. These two guys are they came in with power, aggression, and intent to press forward, and that's the one thing I feel like that a lot of boxers don't do a lot. And I think that's what made this fight so good. I think that's what made this fight so entertaining is that it was very high volume and like it was very crowd pleasing. Like if like you showed this to a casual fan, like they might become a fan of boxing.
Yeah,
And
man. Yeah.
it was just a good fight, man. it was a very hard fought win by Bohachuk, man. Very hard fought, very gritty. Definitely fight of the night energy for sure. These two first fights were fun. It was really good.
Yeah, dude, honestly, for sure. This main event here, right? Similar to the Zuffa 1 main event, where Callum Walsh just kind of showed us that he's a world class boxer. We get the same thing from Jose Valenzuela here as he defeats Diego Torres by decision. This is in the lightweight division. And, this is just a masterclass shown by Valenzuela, to be honest with you. He did come low with those punches quite a few times. I will say that. You probably noticed that as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is barring that, Valenzuela did look like the clear-cut winner in this fight. And here's the thing, man, there wasn't too much dancing, bro. Even though Valenzuela was winning in a technical aspect where he could have coasted in those last rounds that he was in there before they went the distance, he could have danced a little bit and he could have tried to just run off of points. He didn't do any of that, bro. They both stayed in the pocket just trying to throw punches. And that was really cool to see, man. I'm not gonna lie. You get a Mexican versus a Mexican in there and they do Mexican things. That is beautiful to see as the Zuffa 2 main event nonetheless, barring, the low shots. I will say that was kind of bullshit. But we'll see, Valenzuela return. I'm sure Diego Torres will show up again. These are two great fighters that I can't wait to see more from, honestly, both of them.
Yeah, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. These guys did not dance at all. I'll start with Valenzuela first. He used every tool in the toolbox that night, bro. Elite footwork, the sharp jabs, and then the ring generalship, man. And it was his adjustment game was excellent. He weathered the storm and the early pressure and took that fight on his terms, and what that's Mexican warriorship, man. Like when we talk about the Mexican warriors, man, this is what we mean. These guys didn't dance. They both of them came to win, man, and they both they went out there and they fought pretty hardly, man. I think Valenzuela did enough to win this fight. I think he displayed textbook boxing skills, the range management, and then of course the jab setups, and you got the combos, man. It was a really flawless performance by Valenzuela. Now, as far as Torres goes, it was interesting. I did like that he came out like a bull early. He came out like he was ready to go. But I feel like he just didn't it was his pacing. There you go. That's the word I was trying to say. His pacing, he couldn't sustain it. He started off really fast, but then he started to fade later and later as the fight kept going, and he couldn't find answers to Valenzuela, which is shocking because Torres is a damn good fighter, man. He's a really good fighter, but it was definitely but Torres was very durable, and he was very heavy handed, and he's a really good. Like I said, he's a good fighter. He just has to figure out where do I learn what do I gain out of this fight basically. But
Yeah, man.
it was a good fight.
It was a dominant fight. It was what could have been a boring win for Valenzuela was actually just still a really fun boxing match. And I'm excited to see, again, both of these guys in their next fight because I think Torres can find something. He's got 23 fights under his belt or whatever it is, but I'm sure he can find something.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Torres. Torres will bounce back for sure. I mean, this was just a dominant performance from Valenzuela. I didn't mean to cut you off, by the way. I just wanted to get that out there real quick. Just say that
No
like you
worries,
said,
bro.
like this was a very dominant performance from Valenzuela, and I think Torres will find his rhythm again, man. I think this is just it's just one minor setback, right? I mean, it's not like this is the end of the world, right? I mean, Torres will find his rhythm, and hopefully Valenzuela will maybe he'll compete for a title down the line, bro. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's like Callum Walsh, man. Like it was a dominant performance, kind of like how we saw with Callum Walsh. So yeah, I mean, this was a interesting fight. It was an interesting card for what it was.
Yeah, dude, it had no right to be this good. To be honest with you, like the over exceeded expectations by a lot. But we got more to talk about, man, because we got to introduce the other side of boxing here, right? Last episode, in our inaugural episode, we only kind of talked about Zuffa, but I think while Zuffa is good, I think what also should have our eyes is the Ring Magazine's events, and they had their first one of 2026 in the Ring 6. We're gonna talk a lot about these supercard pay-per-views. I think is a good what is like what to call them, right? Um, and we're gonna talk about what happened on the Ring 6. It was a very eventful. It was a 6 match card, is what it was, and it was a long day of boxing, overlapping something in a UFC pay per view that was happening around the same time. I know you were on site for the UFC pay per view. I was watching the Ring 6. Okay, top to bottom of the card, to let you know if you should spend the money on this pay per view. Spoiler alert, you should. Okay, the Ring Magazine events are what is holding boxing together right now. And Zuffa boxing is finding a cool, inconsistent way to like coexist with that. In other words, what really tore boxing apart for a long time will be the same thing that is used to bring boxing back together, and that is money, right? For a while, boxing has been plagued with issues around money, and there not being enough of it for these fights that we really want to see. That is not the case anymore, right? Late 2024, the Ring finds itself under new ownership, and the Ring magazine starts putting out events, okay, starting in early 2025. It took them a while not a while, it took them a minute to establish, right? But it soon became clear that the Ring pay per views were going to be everything that boxing has needed for a long time. Money that can put on the biggest possible fights at some capacity, right? We've become so wrapped up in just a bunch of money shows, if you will, money teams. Um, and now boxing is kind of reforming and growing in a different way, right? Among the four belt era, when things got mixed up and messed up, the Ring Magazine Championship is now a championship that is literally fought for. And that's something that happened recently, as early as last year. So here's the 6th event for the Ring. We have Kevin Castillo defeating Ziyad Al Mayouf by decision in the welterweight division here. The number 8 fighter in the middleweight division, Austin Williams, defeating Wendy Toussaint, who accepted the fight with a considerably low amount of time in terms of preparation. Gerald Miller defeating Kingsley eBay by decision. He somehow lost his toupee and came back to win the fight. I know you saw that shit. Did you see that shit when eBay knocked his
That's,
toupee off?
I remember where I was, bro. Watch. I actually did see that fight. I remember. I was like, holy shit! Like, did that just happen? Like, because I mean, we've seen a lot in boxing, right? We've seen mouth guards go flying. We've seen teeth go missing. But like I've never seen a toupee go missing, bro. Like holy shit. Like that's crazy, man. Like that's one of the craziest things like I've ever seen in the and holy cow, man. Like jeez.
I mean, how epic is it that he comes back and he wins the fight? He gets his hairpiece knocked off, bro. and then he wins the fight. Like, there's no way you're losing the fight if you get your tube rocked off your head, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
held it down and he stood on business. That's what we love to see, man. Shout out to
Oh,
Miller.
dude, shout out Miller, bro. Like that's absolutely impressive, bro. Like the fact you lose your hair and then you you lose your toupee and then you end up coming back and winning the fight. Like that's awesome, bro. Like that's a cool moment, man. And that's like that was incredible, man. That was a really high octane fight, man. And what a comeback, dude. Just what a comeback from a what could have been what should have been a setback ended up being a comeback, man. And that's what we love in boxing, right? We love comebacks, don't we?
Yeah, man, we really do. Right. And that's why it was a great weekend for it. Not only was Zuffa, which we just covered, but the Ring 6. Super fun time watching Miller do his thing. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, that is something that is going to circulate and go viral for years to come. Like, these are going to be moments, and we are going to enter a period of boxing where no money is too much money for the fighters that are already established. And for the fighters who want to fight, Zuffa is just going to be a diamond mine. We'll get into it. Let's finish this Ring 6 card. Let's see. We had the number 6 featherweight in the world, according to the Ring magazine, Bruce Carrington, defeat Carlos Castro by knockout for the WBC World Featherweight Championship. Solid fight here. Always love to see a knockout, of course. Good time. Looks like Carrington is ready to make a name for himself. All right. It's going to be very fun. I'm sure we will see him later again this year under one of these pay per views. We also had Keyshawn Davis defeat Jermaine Ortiz by knockout in the super lightweight division. That was the co-main event. Keyshawn Davis just looks like a fun fighter that's going to get a title shot, if not, probably 2027 realistically. And do you have anything to say about these fights before we get into the main event?
I did want to talk about the Keyshawn fight, bro. He looked very impressive, man. Like the closing, like I actually have a note here. I wrote closing power. Um, and this is actually for Jermaine Ortiz. I wrote Ortiz has durable hands, but Davis kept layering shots until that one shot landed clean. And as soon as that shot landed, bro, as soon as that one punch landed, I knew the fight was over. I was like, it's over. Like he's done. Like, and you could tell like Keyshawn had him on the ropes the whole fight. Like, and it was very, I like that he closed out the show like that. I like that he closed out the fight like that because I thought this fight when I first heard about this fight, I thought it was gonna go to a decision. I was like, oh, whatever, like decision. But hey, man, Keyshawn Davis is a bad man, dude. He's freaking good. He's so entertaining. And I like you said, he could get a title shot this year, if not maybe 2027. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I think if we learned anything, man, he's going to be a top contender for sure. Like he will definitely be up there. Like he's going to be a contender for that super lightweight title or even the lightweight title. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, but this win over Jermaine Ortiz definitely made a case for a title shot, and I think Keyshawn Davis should get it down the line. I think whoever the champion is, whoever wants to fight him. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see, right? I mean, but overall, the Keyshawn Davis fight was good.
Yeah, man. And then we have a 6-match card here. So the 6th match, the main event. I was like, holy shit, this is a long boxing event. Reminds me of AEW for my wrestling fans out there. It's long, but it's a good time. It is just hours of thrills, if you will. So we get to Teofimo Lopez, right, defending the WBO World Junior Welterweight Championship and the Ring Junior Welterweight Championship against Shakur Stevenson here. And honestly, Stevenson just puts on a freaking masterclass and takes both belts. Shakur Stevenson, right, who's already the WBC, or we'll get into that, was already the WBC lightweight champion of the world, comes in and wins the Ring Junior Welterweight Championship and the WBO World Junior Welterweight Championship. Looks like we are entering the era of Stevenson, right? We just saw Terrence Crawford become undisputed in what was just a great show, a great prelim into the future of boxing. And yeah, it looks like Stevenson's going to be a big guy in 2026. They're probably going to do a something in September with him, I'd imagine. Um, but yeah, we also have to talk about the elephant in the room, the WBC, who days after this fight stripped Shakur Stevenson of the WBC World Lightweight or the World Lightweight Championship. Yeah, because he's the champion in another division. Hello, welcome to boxing. Um, what are your thoughts on both these things? His master class of a fight, but recent headlines have shown that the WBC is messing with him the way they messed with Terrence Crawford when Terrence Crawford became undisputed very recently. What are your thoughts on the whole situation, man? And what do you think is in the future for Shakur Stevenson?
I did want to talk about the fight first. I want to actually talk. I want to talk about Teofimo Lopez first, if you don't mind. So I feel like I'll get to Shakur but I want to talk about Lopez real quick. Teofimo Lopez, dude, like he hasn't looked the same, bro. Like since he lost to George Cambosos Jr., dude. Like I think ever since that loss, he's kind of like just like fell off a little bit. And I mean, like he's had a couple good fights with. He had a good fight with Jermaine Ortiz, Josh Taylor, but I feel like this isn't the guy we saw that beat Vasily Lomachenko all those years ago. This isn't the guy that beat Josh Taylor, bro. Like it's like he hasn't been impressive enough, man. I think it was just a masterclass from Shakur Stevenson, man. I don't know where Teofimo goes from here, but I don't. I feel like he really like didn't like step up when he needed to, man. It felt like he kind of gave up like after a certain amount of time. Like I think after like probably I would say like the 10th round, it felt like he gave up. Like he knew like this was a whole different ball game. But now let's move on to Shakur Stevenson. I've had a lot of criticisms about him over these last couple of years, man, because I always thought he was boring, and considering that all he does is dance around. But my opinion has definitely changed. I mean, this was an absolute masterclass. This is like the control of distance, the rhythm. Like he went to work, dude. Like and his defense was absolutely perfect, man. Like you actually, I'd argue that his defense was more offense than anything because he made he made Lopez miss with a lot of shots and a lot of setups, and that's what you need in a good boxer, man. And I think that's what makes Shakur a good fighter, man. That's what separates him from certain guys. And I think honestly, man, like I may not be his biggest fan, but he really won me over with this masterclass, man. He showed up, man. He showed up when he needed to, and I think he definitely earned this win. As far as the WBC goes, man, like I think it's kind of I don't know. I can kind of see both sides, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of BS, man. Because like they did the same with Terrence Crawford as soon as he won the title, right? He got stripped of it a few days after beating Canelo. I, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
I kind of don't remember the distance. I kind of just remember being like WTF. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Was it a
and
couple days after the fight? I really don't remember.
I
So
think it was, dude. I think so because I remember he announced his retirement afterwards. But going back to the point, like I can understand not defending the title for 6 months, but at the same time, like Shakur has a lot to prove, man. Like he has quite a bit to prove as the champion. I feel like taking the title away from him doesn't really help. I mean, I can see maybe it helps the division because he's not holding the title hostage. But at the same time, it's like he has a lot to prove as the champion, and I feel like we've just barely begun seeing how that would play out. And now that you strip him, it's like okay, well, what now?
it was bullshit.
It was
That's
bullshit,
it
dude.
was bullshit for sure. Yeah, ironically enough, there's no other way to call it. It's bullshit for both situations, honestly. But I mean, with you got these two different forces, right? You got Zuffa, and Zuffa's like, if you want to not bullshit and get in there and fight and get like your record established, you know what I mean? Then come fight at Zuffa a couple times a year, and then the ring is just willing to get anybody over to the right fight. Which these two forces are just working in very different ways. One is using the pay-per-view model, one is doing streaming, right? You have good options. You know what I mean? You just have more, and you have consistency now. And at a time where you didn't really have it for a long time, like that undisputed era got really bleak. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Actually, I actually had to look this up real quick. He refused to pay $100,000 to the $100,000 fee to the WBC, bro. That's crazy. The fact that the WBC is even like having him pay fees for that much is bullshit, dude. Like it's absolute bullshit. And we've talked about this too, bro. Like the boxing corporation, all the boxing federations are corrupt, and this is definitely another example of the WBC being very corrupt, dude. Like, how are you gonna have somebody who just fought and defended his title, and just won a title? You have them pay $100,000 fee just mere minutes after just mere days after defending his title. That doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Like it shows blatant corruption, dude. Like there's no other way to put it.
What's cool about what's happening right now is the anything that was considered undisputed is kind of just becoming a bit of a footnote, except for two things, right? We know that there is going to be Zuffa belts. We know that fighters that are signed to Zuffa Boxing will compete for championships, right? I imagine one of the first championship fights we'll see is in the middleweight division. We'll have Callum Walsh against Misael Rodriguez. Yeah. Um, so we're gonna have Zuffa belts, which will be interesting when it happens. I think those will be consistent, and people will be able to enjoy them in a pretty convenient way. So those will have their shine. But you also have the ring championships, which the ring is trying to like work around, right? Which is going to be a loaded conversation. I'll get to that shit.
Yeah.
We have Zuffa belts, and then we have the ring championships, which have very recently went from something that a magazine gives you with that holds some sort of like respect and credibility to something that these fighters are going to fight for. Like it means more now to be a ring world champion than it does to be an undisputed champion, to be honest. All the undisputed champions are ring world champions by default pretty much. But if somebody has the ring championship in their division, they're a star, honestly. Right? That is how we are doing it right now. Like, right? Like Jaio Pataya has one. We will get there. You know, um, Shakur Stevenson now has one. There's only a few. There's only a handful. I'm not even going to go down the list. Let's remain in the realm of Zuffa, right? Because that's the next show that will be coming up, right? That is the next show to have your eyes on. Zuffa Boxing 3, our first heavyweight fight in Zuffa Boxing, the main event of Zuffa Boxing 3, right? We have the number 8 heavyweight in the world, according to the Ring magazine, Efa Ajagba, taking on Charles Martin. We also have a light heavyweight match here. Umar Zambikov will take on Ahmed El Baili. Okay. And our first fight of the night of the main card will be Abel Mejia taking on Jabril de Benito. That is a lightweight fight there. Excuse me with all the names, and it's the world of boxing. um, so, what are your thoughts on this Zuffa 3 card? Are you excited for this card?
It's gonna be a good card from what it seems. I mean, this looks like an entertaining card from what like from top to bottom. I think this will be. I think the. I mean, obviously you have. Hold on. So, sorry, my notes are acting up. Hold on.
You're good, man. I'm very excited for this heavyweight fight, this main event that we are going to have on February 15th, Sunday, February 15th. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a kick-ass fight, that's for sure.
It will be
Right?
a
Then
good,
we'll get some light heavyweight action.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, it
it'll be
will be
good.
a good fight because I mean, Ajagba's like one of the top guys. Like from hold on. All right, I'm gonna ask you a question. How do you see? I'm gonna ask you a quick question before I start up. How do you see a Jogba matching up with Martin? Do you think it's going to be power over versus technique, or what do you think? What do you think this? How do you think this fight's going to play out, man?
I think a jog buzz can look really good. Honestly, Charles Martin is going to have to. It's with the heavyweights, bro. Like those punches are packing so much power.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's like, dude, it's just a different game. You know what I mean? And we're gonna see, a lot of middleweight boxing, welterweight boxing right now is really in a good place. And this will be a fun heavyweight fight. And I think that's exactly what Dana White wants to give us in the third main event of Zuffa boxing. Just a heavyweight slugfest. You know what I mean? Like it's going
Yeah,
to be wild. I don't even want to make a prediction, bro. I just want to enjoy the fight.
yeah.
You know, you got Charles Martin repping the U.S. I'll take Charles Martin, but I know FA is gonna bring
Well,
a damn good fight. So we'll see what happens.
I mean Charles Martin, man. I mean you got to really think about it, man. Former IBF World Heavyweight Champion. I mean he won the title back in 2016. 30, 31-4 with 27 knockouts, man. Like he's a knockout artist, dude. And as for his opponent, man, like not former Olympic boxer, 20 former Olympic boxer. He was formerly in Top Rank, and I've seen his work in Top Rank. He's a bad dude. Like this is 20 wins with only one loss, 21 1-1 basically with 14 knockouts. Very solid win ratio, man, and a very and he's very like he has that jab, man. He has that jab that like rocks you, man. Like, and he's not a one punch guy. He's gonna break you down. He's gonna try to like break you down, like whether it's the body or whether it's your head. Like that's how he that's how he rolls, man. And I think this fight's gonna be a slugfest. If it goes the distance, I expect a decision. I won't say who because this fight's gonna be so close, but I think this fight could go to a decision. And this is going to be a hell of a fight on February 15th, man. Woo!
Yeah, man. I may be a piece of shit for saying this, but I'm kind of expecting somebody to get knocked out, and
Interesting.
I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this is the Lights Out podcast, right? I mean, that's what we do here, right? I mean, this
Yeah,
is
man.
we're looking for knockouts, right? I mean, that's the whole point of the show. But I mean, I think there could be a knockout in this card. I mean, you have there's so many good fights, bro. There's so many good fights on this card. Like it's gonna. I think this card will be like this card might even one up Zuffa too. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, right? I mean, this is gonna be fun. This is the Zuffa boxing is breathing life back into boxing, dude. And we talked about it on like the very first episode. Like Zuffa boxing,
Yeah, honestly, I thought
life.
it was gonna take some time. I did not expect Zuffa 2 to be as good. And honestly, yeah, with Zuffa 3 coming up, right? Like next weekend at the time of this recording, it's gonna be, like I think they're moving at an incredible rate, right? Like we already know the main event of Zuffa 4, which will be on Sunday, March 8th. We have a Ring Magazine world champion and IBF world cruiserweight champion, Jai Opataya, taking on the number 10 cruiserweight in the world, Brandon Glanton. What are your thoughts on this fight? Zuffa 4. I mean, I guess we're going to see the IBF World Cruiserweight Championship on Zuffa television. You know what I mean? Like, what does this mean? We know that Dana White has talked about not featuring the sanctioning bodies rightfully so, because those belts don't really mean much anymore. The ring championship means a lot now, and these Zuffa belts, when they come, I'm sure will have their interest. What are your thoughts on this stuff, man?
We talked about this before the show. Like, is the UFC gonna or is Zuffa gonna partner up with the Ring magazine? Are they gonna combine the belts? Like, what does all this mean? Basically, I honestly, bro, I can't. It's hard to answer because we don't know the full story. But I'll say this, man. I'm gonna talk about the fight first. Jai Opataya, dude, like there's a reason this man's undefeated, bro. Like he has one of the I'd argue one of the best boxers pound for pound. Like that should be on the pound for pound list. I mean, when we talk pound for pound, like of course you say people say Canelo, people say Crawford, and of course you got Usyk up there. But I feel like Opataya should be up there, man. Like he's so freaking good. Like I'm looking at his record right now. Majority of his fights have been knockouts, dude. I think every single fight that he's had has been a knockout. Like this dude is a real nightmare for the cruiserweights, dude. And I think this fight will end. I'm not gonna say early, but I think this fight will end like in the fifth round. I'm gonna be very bold. I'm gonna say fifth round. Opataya gets the win, dude. 30-0. Because Opataya is a bad fucking dude. But it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, and Glenn isn't a slouch either, man. 21-3. I mean, he's coming off that win over. Wait, hold on. I gotta make sure. Yeah, he's coming off that win over Marquez Brown. I mean, from October. I mean, that was a very interesting fight. Very six round. I guess we can say like a stoppage, considering 6 round stoppage. I mean, this will be an interesting fight. I expect fireworks for this fight, man. But I think Opataya will be the man, the guy to have his hand raised 30-0. I think it's going to be an interesting fight to say the least, man. But I'm genuinely curious where the Ring Magazine and Zuffa is going to go with this. Are they going to, like we said, are they going to partner up? Are they going to unify the titles? What's going to happen, man? I mean, I guess time will tell, right?
That is exactly right, man. Time will tell. I think, they have a gem in Opataya right now, and they are going to run with him. Um, I think the first Zuffa belt will go to a homegrown guy, probably like within these first 5 cards, they'll try to give it to one of those guys. Um, Probably Callum Walsh, to be honest with you. Um, Ultimately, I think Zuffa's going to build up their own champions, and when the ring wants to feature them in a pay-per-view, there will be like a trade situation. Maybe Zuffa will get the monster. Maybe Zuffa will get Canelo. You know what I mean? Like, there are going to be 2 ways to make a name for yourself from this point forward. Of course, the current present state of boxing now has an apparatus in the Ring magazine that can put on the events with the deepest pockets ever, right? Um, Being dramatic as I say that, but it really is going to make a difference. Money is what split boxing apart, and now money is going to be the thing that brings boxing back together on one side. And then again, Zuffa's the diamond mine. I want to talk about it in wrestling terms, right? The Ring magazine is comparable to WWE. It's what's been going on like historically, right? It is the premier thing, and it is sold at a pay-per-view level, at a supercard level, ironically similarly to how AEW runs their shows. You know what I mean? Um, and Zuffa Boxing is like NXT, if you will, for now. But at a certain point, it'll be, it might become equal after Zuffa signs a couple more stars here. It seems to be that Opataya is the first one. All right. But yeah, we're going to see how it plays out. Like, is the IBF World Cruiserweight Championship on the line at Zuffa 4? That's what the reports are saying here. That's crazy. I mean, again, the fact that the Ring Championship is on the line here in Zuffa 4 is already telling like this is going to get crazy. It looks like they're coexisting together, but yes, they are. It is going to be a money thing, right? Like who signs with who. Now, Zuffa can sign really anyone they want, I can imagine. They just want to be smart about that. Um, but like it's just going to be more options, and that's what Dana White said himself. It's just going to be more options for fighters, right? You can take the traditional route, or you can take the Zuffa route. And I think the Zuffa route will come to mean something slowly within the next couple of years, right? But we're going to say that we've been here since the jump. And I think wholeheartedly that we are entering a good era for boxing. Like this shit is crazy. Um,
Yeah, I
I,
mean,
I'll let you talk about this. Yeah, sorry.
I wanted to ask, like, can you imagine, dude, if they like if Zuffa gets Canelo or like anyway, like, or they could even like, I mean, they could even go for like who's the top. I feel like Zuffa right now, like they're kind of like a mix of Ring of Honor, like 2000s Ring of Honor and NXT. Because I mean, you have a bunch of homegrown guys that they're famous, but they're not like. If you ask like the diehards, they'll know who that is. But if you ask a casual fan, they won't know who that is. And looking at the ring, hold on, I'm gonna look at some like the top fighters real quick. I'm pulling up something on my laptop, people. So let's see. I mean, can you imagine, dude, if they get guys like Dubois, they get guys like Bam Rodriguez, shout out 210, like Dimitri Bivol, Arthur Bertabiev. Can you imagine all these guys jumping to Zuffa boxing, dude? That'd be the coolest thing ever. And I mean, like you said, like money broke split boxing in half, and now it's bringing it back together. And I think that's the perfect analysis, dude. Like I think that's how I guess it should be. I guess. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like Zuffa can probably get some of these guys, man. Like, I mean, I would love to see Bam Rodriguez fight on a Zuffa card. I would love to see Bertabiev and Bivol fight on a Zuffa card. Like that would be awesome. And Dana White and TKO have the pockets. So I mean, if they can get something, if they can get the pockets, they can cough up the money, dude. I think the ring could low key be in trouble.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, here's the thing. Everything exists in the ring. Like Zuffa is trying to do its own thing, it seems like. You know what I mean? Um I think you will see a lot of like world level fighters in Zuffa boxing over the next few years. And I think when we start seeing some homegrown stars like Callum Walsh or Misal Rodriguez, whoever wins that, inaugural Zuffa middleweight championship, when you start seeing those guys get offered money from the Ring magazine for one fight, they're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and then they are going to work with Zuffa, and Zuffa is going to want something back that is usually featured on the Ring magazine events, such as Keyshawn Davis or something, or someone, I should say. Um, it's going to get interesting, right? It's going to get interesting. There's definitely a lot of questions and a lot of animosity up in the air, right? We have Zuffa 3 coming up, and we have Zuffa 4 in just over a month, where we will see Opataya for the first time, the real first quote unquote big signing for Zuffa boxing. Um,
There's so many questions, bro. So many questions that need to be answered, dude. Like let's be honest, dude. Like there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and I think we'll get those answers as time goes on. Like we've said, like in the past. I hate repeating myself, but we're gonna get those answers, dude. I'm convinced, and I think as far as the lightweights go for Zuffa, dude, I could see Valenzuela being a champion, dude. I could see Valenzuela being the face of the lightweights, dude.
yeah, man, I agree 1,000%. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
Oh,
fun. I'm so excited, like for each event, dude.
me too,
I'm
dude.
excited for Zuffa 3, right? Zuffa 4 is going to be nuts. And then we also have, before we get to Zuffa 4, after we get to Zuffa 3, we have the Ring Magazine's next event, the Ring High Stakes. The main event will be Ryan Garcia challenging for the WBC World Welterweight Championship, facing Mario Barrios. Tell me what you think about this fight, because this is what I'm talking about, man. There is competition within, card making and division building between the ring and Zuffa boxing right now, and they're in their own realm. It seems like very early on, which is very shocking, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. But we have Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, a money fight. What do you think about this fight?
Woo, money fight. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as possible because I like Mario Barrios, of course, San Antonio's own, bro. But this is gonna be interesting. Of course, you got Ryan Garcia, the man who stopped Devin Haney, and he broke he whether you agree or not, he's the one in 31-1. I know that they took it away. They technically took it away due to the whole PED thing or whatever. But Ryan Garcia, man, that guy is a freaking nightmare, dude. Like, and when you look at his record, dude, like Javier Fortuna, he went the distance with Tank Davis. He beat Devin Haney. Like, this is gonna be a very interesting fight. And then of course Mario Barrios, dude. Like, I gotta pull up his record real quick.
You're good, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited for this
this is,
freaking fight. This
I'm
isn't even
so excited, bro. Like, you can tell.
like Zuffa's been very exciting. It's getting very interesting very quickly, been delivering on what it set out to produce. But we have these ring events that are also that have been growing like for the second half of 2025, I'd say. And now just going into like their first event of the year in the Ring 6 and just having a crazy event. And now we have the Ring High Stakes. Not only do we have Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia for the WBC World Welterweight Championship, but out of a a 5 match card, the 3 of the 5 matches are championship matches. We have Richardson Hutchins versus Oscar Duarte for the IBF World Super Lightweight Championship. And then we also have Gary Antoine Russell versus Andy Hiroka for the WBA World Super Lightweight Championship. So 3 of the 5 fights here are title fights. We also have Frank Martin versus Nair Albright in the Super Lightweight division. And then we have Bektemir Melikuzev versus Sena Agbeko in the super middleweight division to open up the card. So 3 of the 5 fights are title fights, and the main event is just a star-studded, bad ass fight
Oh
in
yeah,
Mario
dude.
Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. Are you
Oh yeah.
excited for any of these other champions and, of
Well,
course, challengers?
I did want to circle back to Mario Barrios, dude. Like, I mean, this is the same. He beat Manny fucking Pacquiao, and whether that fight needed to happen or not is a debate. But he beat Manny fucking Pacquiao, dude. Like, that's impressive in itself. And then when you look at his record, Ugas in a he beat Ugas. He he went the distance with Keith Thurman. He went the distance with Gervonta Davis. Like, this is gonna be a fucking war between Ryan and Barrios, man. I can't wait. And as far as the other fights go, like, hold on, I'm looking here. Duarte, dude. Duarte is gonna be that Duarte fight's gonna be good. That's gonna be a fun fight. I'm trying to pull up the other cards. I'm just so excited, bro. You can tell by my tone, bro. I am so excited. Frank Martin fight. You got Frank Martin fighting. You got like I said, Duarte. You got Gary Russell. Like, holy shit, man. Like, I think, dude. I think all these fights will deliver, dude. Honestly, and you can bet. I'll bet on it, dude. Like, I think all these fights will deliver. There's so many good fights, dude. Holy cow, dude. We are eating good as combat sports fans, man. Woo.
Dude, here's the thing, right? We spent the first whatever bit of time of this episode praising Zuffa, but here's the thing, man. While UFC and Zuffa are making cards, the Ring magazine is making super card pay-per-view events, and that's what the Ring High Stakes will be on the 21st of February, man. It's a crazy main event, right? 2 of the other 4 fights are going to deliver, guaranteed. I can't even put into words right now, which is ironic because we're doing a podcast, but like what the hell? When did boxing come back, bro? And how did we get so lucky to start doing this show at the right freaking time?
And it's funny, bro, because I mean, I remember. I mean, me and you have known each other for a long time, for a good while, bro. And we would always the one thing we always would complain about was how boxing was like in a bit of a slump, right? Like, I mean, 2023, 2024, 2025 were just, they were good years for boxing, but they weren't like, holy shit, like, we need to actually watch. They were just like, okay, like, whatever. I mean, granted, I mean, it wasn't all bad. I mean, we still had Canelo and Crawford, but I mean, there wasn't like a moment where like I can like there wasn't like points where I could say like, oh, okay, like there was like that's why like boxing is doing good. I mean, like, or that's why I watch boxing. But now, like, dude, when did boxing get so good, man? Like, it's awesome, dude. Like, the ring is producing super cards, man. Like, holy cow.
Dude, before we get into UFC, I do want to talk about you know, I actually, before I get into this last little thing, which I hope only takes a penny of our time here because we've been going hard 50 minutes in. Haven't even touched UFC yet. Nuts. But this is a sign of a good show, man. This is a sign. This is good conversation. I love it. We're gonna have a good 2026 talking about this stuff, man. We're gonna see some good stuff. Anywho, like the undisputed era just got really stale, and it was stale for a very freaking long time, right? And now boxing is just kind of growing a little bit, right? Like Zuffa's this diamond mine with endless pockets that's going to keep growing. The Ring magazine changed ownership and started putting on supercard events in which money didn't matter, and they're working with any promotion. They have the money to work with any promotion, so it's really just the platform that boxing needs.
Yeah.
And it came at a time when another good idea came off the ground that Dana White had with the success of UFC. Endless pockets, right? Like
Yeah.
two sources of endless pockets, really. Just doing service for the sport. And, they work in conjunction, they acknowledge each other, I can see. And, it'll be good. It'll be good. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
man.
awesome, dude. I do want to talk about the Ring magazine. Something they just put up. Excuse me. They have this calendar list here, the February matchups of the month. So we have at the evening of this recording, February 7th, Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa, WBA Featherweight World Championship match. On February 15th, Zuffa Boxing 3 F Ajagba versus Charles Martin. We already talked about that. We already talked about February 21st, which is the ring high stakes event. Most of those matches are on the matchup of the month, right? February 22nd, we have women's boxing here. Clarissa Shields versus Franchon Cruz Discern 2 with the WBA, WBC, the IBF, and WBO heavyweight world titles on the line. The undisputed world heavyweight champion of women's boxing will be determined on February 22nd. And then, of course, on the 28th, we have Emmanuel Navarrete versus Eduardo Nunez for the IBF and WBO world junior weight titles. I'm sorry, IBF and WBO junior lightweight world titles. It's a mouthful,
Oh yeah.
That's the undisputed era for you. But I figured I'd just give those a run at the start of February. Just kind of check it out at the Ring magazine. But running down the list there, we kind of covered most of the big fights that will be coming in February.
I did want to make
Um,
a small correction real quick. I remember I did say that there weren't like I was complaining about like how there were no like big moments. Forgot to mention one thing that did stand out: Usyk and Dubois from 2023, and then of course the whole Bertabiev and Bertabiev and Bivol, the two fights that they had, man. Like those were really good fights. But going and then of course Eubank and Ben, like, but if you've never seen Nick Ball, dude, like that dude is a freaking badass fighter. And also same with Navarrete, dude. There was a fight that I saw of his. I think it was Oscar something. I forgot the dude's last name. Oh, Oscar Valdez. If you've never seen that fight, my friend, dude, I highly recommend checking it out. That was you want the definition of a Mexican war, dude. That's the fight to watch. It was top rank. I think it was 2024. I think I remember watching that fight, and I was like, by the end of it, I was literally like clapping, bro. I was like, holy shit, like what a fight, like. And Nick Ball, man, come on, like Nick Ball's a freaking animal, dude. Like, of course, he had the win on the 5v5 over Raymond Ford. He's had a lot of good fights, man. I think this will definitely be interesting. And Navarrete, dude, fucking warrior, dude. I love that. I love that kid, man. He will be something special, bro. Guarantee it.
Let's go, man. State of boxing. We can make these calls on these young cats, bro. Fuck yeah. All right. Um. Anywho, I want to say this. Like, this is my take on it, and then we'll get into UFC. The thing about boxing for a while has been, where do I watch? How should I watch? Because pay-per-views became stale more often than not for a very, very, very long time. But now we have a trusted source that will provide super card level pay-per-views, right? I consider these ring events to be peak when it comes to combat sports right now. Personally, for my personal enjoyment, that's where I'm at, right? Also, just kind of goes to show you how big of a boxing fan I am. We now have two different sources in which we know we can trust. We can trust Zuffa Boxing to entertain us, and it's streaming. There's no pay-per-view model there. And these ring pay-per-views, if you want to order them at the pay-per-view level or whatever, wink wink, um, it's going to deliver. You know it's going to deliver. You know you should watch it, right? In a world of fighting cards, the ring is putting on super cards, as previously stated. So we have sources now. Like, I felt like Top Rank was a little shaky. PBC was very shaky. You know what I mean? For a long time, there was just not, unless like Canelo was fighting, right? It was not worth it, in my personal opinion, for a very, very long time. And that's no fault to the athletes. Now the athletes have better platforms, expanding beyond the belts that created the Undisputed Era, something that we are very happy to be out of, to be honest.
I mean, I'd argue that. I'd argue that there were a couple like good moments here. We saw the greatness of Usyk. I mean, when he beat Tyson Fury. I mean, then of course we had the greatness of Arthur Bertabiev and Dmitry Bivol. That trilogy. I mean, so I feel like we can't just like give all the credit to Canelo. I mean, there were some decent moments here and there. I think the real MVP of like the Undisputed Era should be Alexander Usyk, dude. Because I mean,
Yeah, a
think
thousand
about
percent.
it,
I'm
bro.
sorry. I thought when it came to, I
You're
didn't
good,
catch
man.
a lot of those other events, honestly. Like,
No, you're good, dude.
I walked away from boxing for a long time, and I'm glad to be back. But it just like, I don't know, man. Heavyweight boxing was good. It was like heavyweight, and then just Canelo doing his thing for like over the past couple of years, and
You still had Crawford. I mean, here and there, but I mean, it was kind of like here and there. I mean, you did have. I mean, also the whole Bertabiev and Bevo trilogy, man. That was a good. That was a damn good. That was a damn good spectacle for what it was. It was very technical, dude. Very technical. Both fights were extremely technical. I remember watching both fights, and they were interesting. They were. If you've never seen them, I probably would go check them out. Like,
yeah, I think I'm just being an asshole about boxing.
you're good,
It's all
man.
right though. That's what we do, man.
Yeah.
That's what we do. I think it's in a much better place now, and it's going to grow
Oh yeah.
tremendously.
Hell yeah.
I think it's just in my mind, it just lacked structure. And like, yes, I knew that heavyweights had like a big eye of the scene, right, for a very long time. Yeah, I just think it's going to be much better. It's going to be more to my personal hopes, because I fell out of love with boxing for a very long time. It's not, if we're talking in wrestling terms, right? Like, It felt like the old man Vince McMahon era of creative booking for a very long time. Just dark days for boxing fans. You know what I mean? It just felt like the sport couldn't get out of its own way. Would you agree with me a little bit on that at least?
Yeah, I would agree with you on some of that because I mean, we've said it right. I mean, we've said that they wouldn't be giving us the matchups we wanted, or like some fights wouldn't make sense. Like we felt like you said, the Vince McMahon booking almost, and like especially like during the dark days of WWE, like or like we had some dark days, man. But I think we're in a much better position than we were a few years ago.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's great, and I'm very excited. I think we got to get into UFC now. An hour into the show.
Yes, sir.
Holy
Holy shit, man. We're already
moly! All right,
woo.
let's get into UFC 325. We had a 5 fight main card, right? Um, we'll talk about the first three, then we'll talk about the co-main. I'll go ahead and list them out. Right, we had a lightweight fight in Keon Salkild taking on and defeating Jamie Malarkey by submission to open up the show. Right, we had the number 15 heavyweight in the UFC, Taliesin Teixeira, defeating number 12, Tai Tuvasa, by decision, going the distance there. And then the third fight on the card was a lightweight fight. Number 14, Mauricio Rufy, defeating the number 9 lightweight, Rafael Fiziev, by TKO. What do you think about these first 3 fights, man?
I have a lot to say on Tuivasa, bro. Honestly, but I'll get into that when I'll get into that. I want to talk. I'll get into that when I get to it. Let's talk about Sakid first, man. Perfect fight for Sakid, man. Sharp, and his precision was perfect. Like it was perfect, man. That early takedown and the immediate control was incredible. It was incredible to see, man. It was definitely something that I think he should probably use. Like he should probably use his grappling more, and I think that it helped him win the fight for sure. I mean, and that the fact that he was able to get the back really quickly is so impressive, dude. Like it was awesome to watch. And then of course the his solid strike. Well, of course he got very comfortable, man. Like Sakid got very comfortable, dude. It was just it was excellent to see, man. And I dropped something. It's all right. Yeah, man. This was a really strong fight for Sakid, and I think he should be he could be a top contender, man. I think this fight like proved it, and I think he could be a future a problem in the lightweight division. Now, when we talk about Tuivasa, oh boy, this pissed me off, bro. And I don't get pissed off at much, but holy shit, dude, Tuivasa had him, dude. He had to share on the ropes, dude, and he did not fucking capitalize, bro. Holy shit. He literally, oh my god. I was literally watching the fight. I remember I was watching the fight, dude, and I was like, he had him like stunned, dazed, and I was like, finish the fight. You have him on the ropes, dude. Come on, and he doesn't do it. He clinches him. What are you doing? Come on, man. Like you need to work on your cardio, dude. You look like Derek Lewis out there. Like, come on. And then as far as Roofy, man, like I said, bro, Roofy's a bad fucking dude. Like this was his most complete performance in recent memory. And Rafael Fazib is one of those guys that he tends to put guys in awkward striking positions with with his dynamic kicks and his feints, right? But Roofy, it felt like it didn't work on Roofy, dude, and that was beautiful. That was awesome to see, man. And I like that Rufy was very patient. He stayed in the pocket. He was very clean with his strikes and his combos. He didn't rush. He punished more than anything. And I think that's what helped him get the win, dude. It was a good fight for what it was. Just I'm just still pissed at Tuivasa, bro. Ugh. Jesus, man. Swear these fights get me more riled up than you realize, people. Just letting y'all know.
Let's talk about the co-main event. All right, the number 8 lightweight in the world, Benoit Saint Denis, taking on the number 6 lightweight in the world, Dan Hooker. Tell me what happened. Tell me your thoughts on the fight.
Well, as expected, Benoit Saint Denis got it done, dude. And I wanted Dan Hooker to win so badly because I love Dan Hooker. He's honestly one of my favorites, like right now. But man, dude, Benoit Saint Denis, holy shit! Like he
That's a
looked like
rising star right there.
fuck yeah, dude, absolutely. He looked like a guy who's gonna be a nightmare for the division, dude. And honestly, if he doesn't get a title shot within a few months or hell even 2027, then I call complete bullshit, dude. Because this fight with Hooker, it was he was heavy paced. He put the pressure on Hooker, man, and that's what a lot of guys don't do that. A lot of guys don't do that on Dan Hooker. They let him kind of like control the fight, but Benoit Saint Denis just played it perfectly, man. It was beautiful, man. It wasn't a. I actually have a note here. I put this wasn't a finish. It was a it was a manslaughter. That's the best way I can describe it, dude. Because that's what this basically was. It was a manslaughter. It was holy shit, dude. Like Benoit Saint Denis, dude. That dude's gonna be a star, dude. And I think he needs to get a title shot eventually. I don't whether it's who's the champion. Who's the champion? No, isn't it fucking? It's not fuck. It's not Max. He's the BMF. It's fucking what's his name? Gaethje, right? No, it's Aporia, right? I could be wrong.
I let it. I was building up anticipation. Islam. Islam.
Islam. Fuck. I meant. Fuck. It's Islam, dude. Fuck. I'm sorry, bro.
Dude, they all just moved up one, so it kind of fucked my. I don't really know where everyone's at yet either
Yeah,
because
no, it
they
fucks.
all moved
This
up
whole thing
one.
fucks everybody up, dude. Like, but going back to it, bro. Like, I think Benoit Saint Denis could low key be a challenger, dude. I think he deserves like if he can keep winning fights like this in this type of fashion, dude. I think we can see him as champion, dude. I think he will be the ruler of his weight division, dude. No question.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think Saint Denis is gonna have a good 2026. I foresee him getting a title fight sooner
Yeah.
than later. Honestly, let's get into the main event, man. Featherweight Championship of the World, UFC Featherweight Championship of the World. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez 2. What'd you think about this fight, man? It was good fun, honestly. Like
It was fun.
I enjoyed the first fight. I enjoyed the second fight, and yeah, I do think Volk won this one. The decision, I think Volk definitely won. What are your thoughts?
I feel like they rushed this fight, bro. And the reason I say that is because this didn't feel like the first fight. It felt more. This was more of a masterclass from Volkanovski. Like he was dialed in, bro. From the like my prop. I mean, at least in the first fight, Lopez put on a good showing. It felt like here, like it felt like Lopez didn't have an answer, like at all. Like it was just complete domination from Volkanovski, bro. Like this felt like Max Holloway versus Volkanovski 3 almost. Like that's probably the best way I can put it. Like by the like I was so hyped for this fight. And I even said that this fight was gonna be fight of the night, but man was I wrong, dude. This was almost I don't want to say lopsided because it wasn't, but it was very like one-sided almost. Because he like Volkanovski neutralized Lopez's best weapons before Lopez could even make them effective, and that's Volkanovski shut Lopez down real quick, dude. Like it was like that, dude. I can't snap, so but it was just a masterclass of Volkanovski, and that's why like I think Volkanovski is gonna go down as one of the greatest featherweights in the world. I'll be honest, he might surpass Jose Aldo, dude. I think he's gonna surpass Jose Aldo as far as the greatest featherweight, dude. No question.
Yeah, man, we are seeing greatness in front of us, man. Volkanovski on an epic freaking run. Um, yeah. Let's talk about UFC 326, which we will have to wait all the way until March for, right? UFC 326 will be on March 7th.
Yay.
We got Max Holloway taking on Charles Oliveira for the BMF championship. Who will be the baddest motherfucker?
Ooh.
That will be a good ass fight. Let me tell you, I love that BMF title. I really do love that BMF title. It is too much fun. It is one of my favorite titles, honestly, in any combat sport.
I know mine too, bro. I love that freaking title. I mean, when it was first introduced, I remember I was like, whatever. I mean, it'll probably last like maybe like 6 months, and then they'll get rid of it. But nope. Who would have expected that this title would become like as prestigious as it is? Because I mean, when it was first introduced, it was Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. And look at where it's at now. We have Charles Oliveira, Max freaking Holloway, dude. Like,
It's
dude,
crazy.
this to be honest, this whole card is stacked, bro. Because I mean, look, I mean, when you look at this card, Moicano versus Ortega, Bohalio versus the Ritter, Hiao versus Cody Garbrandt, like so many good fights, dude. Like, holy shit. Like, I think the main event will probably be the best fight. But don't sleep on Ortega, man. Don't sleep on Ortega and Moicano, dude, because that fight could low key be fight of the night.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was gonna say other fights for the 326 main card of UFC is of course the co-main is a lightweight fight, number 10 Renato Moicano versus the number 10 featherweight Brian Ortega. Okay. We have a middleweight fight, number 7 Baralo versus number 8 Rainer de Ritter. Um that'll be on the card. We have number 13 in the middleweight Gregory Rodriguez versus number 15 Bruno Ferreira. And then we have a bantamweight fight to open up the main card. Number 13, Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr., which will be a fun fight, man. It looks like a solid card. This one looks like a sleeper card from UFC right here. 326 is probably going to be better than anticipated as I read out the card, honestly. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And UFC's just had a great freaking start to 2026. It's kind of weird, right? Like, now that boxing is kicking into gear, UFC is like, okay, we cannot slouch. I feel like the past 2 years, not in a major fashion, but have been a tiny pinch smidgen of a slouch for UFC, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm too pessimistic, man. Maybe I'm too pessimistic. I'm very pessimistic with boxing. Um, I definitely want to get your thoughts. What do you think here for
No, I
UFC's
mean, you're
2026
not.
start?
Oh, God. Oh, well, okay. Repeat your question. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. But repeat your question one more time.
Oh, bro, I was just queuing you in, bro. Just
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just tell me what you think about UFC in 2026. Tell me, do you think we're entering a better era than it's been over the past couple of years? Like, where are you at with that?
I think so, dude. Because I mean, when we look at 2024 and 2025, there were some good fights here and there. I mean, we had Alex Pereira stepping up. We had some good fights, but then like 2025, I feel like the ending of 2025 was where it really like sucked because a lot of like I always use this example, and I'm gonna keep using it every time the UFC's in a slump. JDM versus Islam, dude. How do, Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world, and you put on a boring fucking fight? Like Jesus Christ, bro! Like that's how we end the year. And then of course there's a bunch of like other weird shit with Tom Aspinall, the whole eye poke thing. Like it was a weird year for UFC, dude. Like in 2025, and I feel like now like they're really shifting into gear, and I feel like we're getting better cards now. I mean, I remember I remember watching the fight between Aspinall and Gon, bro, and I remember thinking, man, I was like, God, I feel like I feel stupid for paying for this, man. And now here we are. We actually get good fights at a very cheap price. Like, come on, man, Paramount Plus, dude. Like, we're in a good fucking state right now. Like, we're getting the fights we want. We're not. I mean, there's a couple of boring fights here and there, but I mean, it's literally that here and there. I mean, 325 was a good card. 324 was an excellent card, and 326, dude. This will be probably a bad. This is gonna be a badass card. 326, dude. Look, there's so many good fights, man. I think we're in a really good We're in a really good spot with the UFC, man.
Dude, it kind of seemed like, well, here's the thing, like the pay-per-view model was kind of dying for them a little bit. Now that it's on Paramount Plus, it could be whatever it wants to be, and it could be very free flowing, right? Like I feel like, I don't know, man. The UFC was doing it's been doing really well for a really long time. It's been consistent since it existed, really. Um, but I don't know, man. I feel like the pay-per-view model was getting old with UFC. Now you get it with Paramount Plus, and you get Zuffa Boxing, and any pay-per-view money you were using for UFC. Ironically, I would recommend using for boxing in these Ring Magazine events. You know what I mean? Like it is just a weird shift, and it made UFC all the better somehow. Zuffa Boxing is a cool new gem that exists, and these Ring Magazine pay-per-view events are a new gem that exists, and somehow like it's just the trifecta of combat sports, right? Like we're in a dude, I did not see this coming, I'm not gonna lie. We kind of launched this podcast like with a hunch, and here we are, man. We are, oh my goodness, man, two
Oh,
fabulous UFC events in, and just a lot of questions about boxing in 2026,
there's
right?
so many. There's so many questions that need to be answered, dude. Honestly, there's so many questions. Like, and it's not just boxing, but like UFC too. Like, there's so much that needs to be answered. And dude, we're gonna try to answer them. I mean, obviously, the UFC and the Zuffa are gonna try to answer them, but so are we. Aren't we? Are we not, my friend?
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and there will be more answered on our next episode. All right. This is going to get very interesting. This is going to become one of the most interesting podcasts
Yes,
to
sir.
exist. To exist. I'll say it. This
Oh
is a
yeah.
good concept, and we're going to have a good ass time. I'm hype. I'm ready for Zuffa Boxing 3, February 15th, right? The Ring High Stakes, February 21st. And then our next time we get to hang out watching UFC will be UFC 326, March 7th. All right, that is our watch list, and we will catch up with you probably. We'll have to figure out when we do that with all these events looming. All right, guys, this has been a good time. Go ahead and sign off. And
All right, man. Real quick, man. I just want to thank Matt, man, best podcaster in the game. Real quick, Mr. Wrestling is bullshit. My guy, my dog. Rest in peace to the big dog, Mr. Carlos Carasso, big dog for life. And my name is Ant, aka boxing is bullshit, aka whatever. We're out of here, guys. Boom! Woo! Go Hawks, baby!
we'll see what happens at the Super Bowl. We'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. We
Good
got it.
luck with the game tomorrow, man. All right. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you soon.
Peace.